Let there be peace and love. Welcome to Satsang. I will give a very brief history of the search for freedom. When one is aware that whatever he has got in life or whatever he has not got, it leads him or her to unsatisfaction or unhappiness. And it looks like it's always the same repetition going on. So one tries with the means he knows, means the mind, the emotional heart and the body, to do something towards an ideal or a goal that he thinks it may give an eternal happiness or peace or love. And so the practices are born out of there. Someone, the one I think I am, he knows only those means, those tools. But those tools by themselves, they are temporary tools. They go on changing, and so the result, if at all there is any success in the practice, will be also temporary. So there is a big drama here. One doesn't know where to go if he tried many directions, many ways, heard many teachings. So at this point of helplessness and hopelessness, if he's lucky, he will be struck to hear the search you have will not be fulfilled by or through the mind or through the body. It's impossible, because those means are born out of what you really are, and what you really are is just here before I catches any idea of it. So keep quiet means for a while don't go into any movement. Let it be sensual, let it be emotional, let it be conceptual. And that even split second, that moment, shows that what is left is always there. Is prior to anything. And that somehow can't be rejected, can't be negated. That's what I am. So it's a luck, and that luck is to hear this, and that luck is created by the fire for freedom, to liberate yourself from the tyranny of the mind or of any experiences one gets. And that's it. So I'm thinking of a very small story known. The practices can lead to different layers of the creation, I would say, of consciousness, of a I vaster than the personal I, still a I. But the belief behind is that I have to polish the tile, means all what I know from myself, I have to purify it so that it gets transparent, totally purified. While the truth is there a tile at all? Or if there is a tile, it appears and it disappears. It cannot be real by nature. So why all those efforts? To transform what? To transform what's unreal by nature. So it is of an extreme luck to hear you are that itself, which is not caused by anything, which doesn't depend on anything, which is not the result of anything. And before you hear that, of course, you will try everything else with the mind and the body. So satsang is to hear, stop the search, don't listen to your mind, don't listen to any experience because it's related to somebody, the somebody you think you are. So be freed from that burden. Be freed from all these beliefs, as you already are when you keep quiet. So wake up to that. And it's funny, wake up, it's already there. So what to say? So urgently, if there is any question, any doubt about this, about what you do or don't do, please ask. This is a good place for it. At least you are free not to think as the world wants you to think. And don't feel shy. I am one-on-one with everyone. I'm not a great storyteller, so don't expect I can make you entertain so well, but I can always remind you who you are. It doesn't puzzle you?
Yes, of course.
That's why you are here.
Yeah. it's easier said than done. The practice to
Yeah.
stay quiet,
Yeah.
it's easier said than done.
It's easier.
To say it, to speak about it, to hear it, than to do it. That's why.
Yeah, but do it, why not?
Yes,
Because in
I agree.
fact, it's an undoing. You understand that you are already that. You are already what you search. So, it's because you don't think so. It's a thing, it's a thought. Huh? So undo that thought. Just don't grasp it. Just for a while. Just for a while. So what remains? Try to tell me.
Then there is still, I think, a grasping to the feeling state or situations.
Yeah, but I request not to grasp anything. Make it short. Put your fire there. It's easier because it is that makes it possible. Not to go into any movement a split second. What's there? And don't reply me with any tools. Like that direction. Do you see it?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's more clear
Yes.
by coming to the satsang.
That's why it's important
yes,
to
that the
come.
phenomenal things are really be grasping of the worthlessness of the phenomenal things.
Yeah.
The
So
unrealness.
yeah. So you see that better.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Satsang is to show that, you see. So each time, whenever, doesn't matter if you are identified 10 hours, 10 days, who cares? The moment you wake up to, oh, what am I doing? Where am I? You know very well, you can describe where you are. Not this. I'm not this. And you give this split second to yourself. Quiet. That will do the job. That's real purification. To free you from the I am somebody. Yeah. Good. Still, if there is any question, anything which rises, you can ask, you see? You can ask. Maybe it's a bit new to you this way, but it is working this way. Silence always works too, but who understands silence? They say that's the best teaching. Sure, but who understands silence? Yes, please.
Is it possible to know that you're not
To know?
To know that you're not this body, this mind, to know that you're that, but still feel that you're this body.
Yeah, but if you feel it, you see, it doesn't matter. You may feel it, but then you know it belongs to the apparent world.
But
It belongs to the rising, to the creation. But there is a confusion if you think you are body-mind. That's why it is quite urgent, quite very precious to realize who you really are, what's the real nature of things. That which doesn't depend on a concept, a feeling, or a sense. All this creation is possible because there is a kind of, let's speak of, even if it is false, but a kind of substratum, you see. It is false in a way because there are not two things, like a real apparent reality and a reality. But as one bases himself on some experience of the body or of the mind, nothing wrong with that. When you really know yourself, it goes on. This is the self, what you are, creates itself all the time. But you know it is in the apparent something which comes and goes. So when the confusion goes, the anxiety, the endless search disappear too. You understand that?
Yeah, I understand it.
And what's missing then? Where do you place yourself?
I can follow very well.
Okay.
What you talk about, and it's like some kind of recognition. Yes, it's true.
Okay.
And still, life continues and
yes, life
make
continues.
me react like.
Doesn't matter. Life is reaction and action, but it is in the apparent world. It is in the appearance. Are you that? If you really wake up, that your real nature is not what can rise or what can disappear. Once for all, whatever you feel with the body, with the mind, with the heart, is a feeling, it's a rising, it's I rose to feel that in a certain way. It's not what I am in reality. So that has to be very clear. Otherwise you get confused. So that's why I say, for a split moment, don't go with any movement that make you experience, make you feel or think. Don't go there for just a moment. And you are left with what then? Good. You are that. Even before this thought, rising thought, say, I can't say. He is very right for once. Because the mind will never grasp it. Cannot go there. So, you are that from where this thought, I can't say, rose. So for once you don't go to your thought, and still you are or you are not, we will not think about it, but something is there, which is what is.
Who is it that doesn't go to the thought?
Right. It is the seeker. I tell the seeker, otherwise I would not have this talk. But the seeker, if he has the direction of not grasping, will it stay as a seeker? Is there anything there as a seeker? And so you hear, here, this is what you are, when there is nothing like an identification of I. It's a way to shake this I was such a belief that he cannot even question it, you know? That direction. It's very big, let's say, clarity to see how much one binds himself jumping from one thought to another. It's amazing. One is not aware. And that's how he defines or he describes himself with all these experiences or concepts. While if he stops for a moment, just where he will be, where he is always, so it is that. The rest are creations. What's going on now?
I feel sometimes, I feel that the seeker this is what it is like if I don't feel that I am that. Then
Very good. You will never feel it. That is the freedom. That is the freedom. You see? No. Whatever you feel is already a creation. Yeah. That direction. You see, give a moment in order to just wake up to it. And the rest, you will know. Feelings, everything is about something else. It is a creation, which comes and goes, which goes on changing. And this body-mind is in it. But what really I am includes that.
So if you feel that you are the seeker, it's okay to say stop feeling or.
But just in order to wake up to your real nature. You see, just a moment, still a moment, just to see that I'm still there, maybe not as I thought or felt before. There is still something there when I don't grasp myself, something with something. So you are that. And that itself removes totally the confusion of who you are in reality. And because maybe the force of habits will still appear and all that, but you know now. So each time you may go back there. It's not a going back, you are always there. But because of the previous habits, this may still happen. Don't worry, it's appearing. You are not that, in fact. Ah, yes.
I have a question from our charming neighbor.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't speak so well English. She understands.
Yeah. Could you?
She wants to know
Yeah.
why is it so important to be realized in this life?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think we can ask. You will translate. Why it is so important to realize. Let's not speak of this life. She will understand that one really wants, when he knows the importance of it, even now is maybe too late. It is so urgent. So, the one who has not realized, it thinks that whatever the mind, the senses and the emotions present is real. So he suffers and enjoys all the time, depending on changes of this wind, like unreal nature. There is no substance in it. Maybe you translate. The one who realizes he doesn't confuse himself, even if this apparent body, mind, and personality has experiences and thoughts and emotions. The confusion is gone. It's more precious than the mind can even conceive. And it's available just now, every just now. What looks like hiding it is to believe that any movement of the mind represented by the emotions and the senses, is to believe that there is reality there. It's just an appearance. So apparently, all is the same. One doesn't search because the real nature doesn't belong to anyone, and what appears, appears and disappears. That's all. All this fantasy to think that this apparent world will show up liberation is completely a phantasmagoric spiritual thought. This is the disease of the mind. One of.
It's about the word substratum.
Yeah.
It is used in Ayurvedic philosophy.
Uh-huh.
You use it sometimes.
Yeah.
I've heard it in the mouth of Papaji.
Yeah.
Still feels like a descriptive
Yeah,
word.
sure. I agree.
Can you say more about it?
Yeah, sure. I even said no, the substratum, but I said even that term is not correct because one can anyway not describe the real nature. Huh? But if we start to try to negate what is apparently real, so what is, we hook ourselves to some illusions actually, because it looks like real, but for someone it's really real. So we can speak of you are the substratum, because if you negate everything of the apparent rising, where you hook yourself generally, what is left? There is still something left that you cannot negate. So for the sake of indicating, sometimes it is called that way. But surely with the real fact, one may not express it this way, because any description will not do. But it's still okay, because you see, anyway, I said it.
And you can say that it's prior to consciousness. Consciousness
Exactly.
is already a manifestation, it's already a creation.
Exactly. Yeah. In French, I don't have a good word, but in English it's easy. Consciousness could be expressed for the non-personal creation, the universal creation, and then what you are could be said it's awareness. You see, you are. There is an awareness which is not always aware of, that function is not always needed, and still it is awareness, even when it's not with the function of to be aware of. Yeah. It is that awareness which is aware of your sleep. So you see, it doesn't belong to someone, because someone sleeps. And yet there is something which was aware of, I slept. Very, very amazing to wake up to that. Actually, that is never incarnated, it's never embodied. All incarnations are in the realm of creation, the creation of consciousness. So in satsang, what is described is rather what it is not, what you are not in reality. You see? That language one will understand. You have no more questions? If you have, you can ask, you know.
Of course, I still have questions, but I can't really formulate them yet. At the
Okay, so maybe they disappear by themselves.
At the moment, I'm feeling like some, energy, like so a bit disturbed, like. Okay, but I know I'm not that, so I have to not
Great,
grasp
you learn
it.
quickly.
Okay,
Wow. Good. Exactly.
thinking, but it's only a thought. It seems I'm a bit lazy to do the practice, something like that.
But I find you are not lazy because you do practice of yoga. It asks a lot of efforts too. But it's true that this, which is not a practice, but it looks like a practice because you undo, could look like asking tremendous efforts. But it's an illusion, but it looks like. Because you have to go against the flow which is I don't like to say natural, but natural to you. The flow of the world is really I am born. And towards that flow. And what is heard here, oh, I am already that. Before I'm conscious that I am born, which is a step too much. A step too much, but absolutely reinforced by the voice of the world. Only the wisdom throws us back prior to this rising. It's just a rising. It has no substance actually. Yeah, please.
Yes. And this awakening you can have in this awakening.
Yeah.
You can have in a split second. You said.
Yeah. Yeah, because
then have it in more seconds.
But you see.
With you, then in the beginning you experienced split seconds, and now how you experience is not.
But you see, it's a bit like, I will first give an image, just to show you. It's a question of waking up or realizing how to express it. What is always there? Okay? So the image is given in India, but I love it. It's like there is a rope taken for a snake. It's taken for a snake. And you imagine when you see a snake, you can have a lot of, it's a multiplicity of feelings of whatever. Yeah? Okay, the bird. And you tell your friends, listen, when I go home, I have always that snake and I'm always afraid, so can you help me? And then that friend said, oh, come near. Come near. You will see what it is. And then coming near means, who am I in reality? It's a rope. It's a rope. There was not even ever a snake except in a mirage, in an appearance. And the snake never disappeared, in fact, except in the appearance, then it disappeared at once. So, next day, when the snake reappears because of the light, because of circumstances and all, that one who saw it was a rope, he may still react, but he cannot forget there is a rope there. It's unforgettable. It didn't go in the memory. It is a fact, it's a rope, even if you see a snake still on it. So like that, I would say, is the realization. You see? So it is not like I am that, I am that, I am that every second. It's just a matter of the confusion is gone.
It's not in time.
Please?
Time is no.
No. Time is not involved in it. If this body-mind in time is not dead, an appearance will continue till the dead. So, you look very happy.
Ganga.
Yeah.
Ramana, he says about that the snake is like the world. and the rope is the self.
Yeah.
So the world has to
Yeah.
disappear for the self to appear.
Yeah.
Then, there is not some.
I think I said the same.
Yes.
So Ramana confirms it.
It's for some reason, okay, maybe just the mind, but for me there's something that's not that clear, or there's some more that can be, I don't know, enlightened for me about that statement. That
Because
the
you
world
see,
has to
just go and
disappear.
see yourself, that you are the self. Just see,
Mhm.
just go there. Disappear as a concept of somebody, so you have to go there. To see it, to see that this image is quite good. You see, in satsang, what is satsang? It's also in the world of appearance. There is that voice which tells you directly, listen, you are that. Don't doubt about it. Don't go into your doubts. If you can take it at once, the best. If you can't, you have this help given by the wise. Go on negating. Whatever happens, I'm not. And at some point, you will be wonderstruck. Okay, I cannot do that infinitely. It is ad infinitum, these processes. So, here, being quite emptied, there is a meaning to ask, who am I?
But something has to happen. You can.
Don't go into that thought, because you don't allow them to realize yourself. Yourself will not be realized through the mind, through the best answer ever you can get in the mind. That you have to understand. If there is something to be understood, it is this. And then when the seeker understands that clear like crystal, he will not go into his mind. And the self is obvious, reveals itself. Yes.
So I want to ask,
Yes, please.
the feeling like I'm a seeker is there already for a long time, and it is like sometimes I feel like in an arena because of the past.
Yeah. The seeker, he seeks because of his past, isn't it? It is like the result of a long story. Then you search. You search to be freed from your story, maybe.
Really.
Yeah, really. Yes. So that's the path of liberation. I want to know what's real. I have not I tried so many things. Yeah? Or you are fed up with your past, which presents itself always. Yeah? So, whatever is presented is past. That's right. It is always colored. But then, exactly, it's because we attach ourselves to something, which is the past, that we feel a seeker, we feel bound. Who told you that you are a seeker in reality? It's just a result of your story. you were something else and now you are a seeker because in fact you are really fed up with your past. And now you hear, I'm already that, freed from any description. That's your real nature. So when the thought of I'm a seeker appears, you don't go there, you drop it. What's left?
You know, I have I will have never answers who are already my whole life.
But you see, you went into your mind, into your memory, you carry your past.
Yeah.
I gave you a second to be free from the past. What do you prefer?
To be free of the past.
Okay, so give most value to that second where you are freed from the past. And the past will be presented by a sensation, an emotion, or a thought.
Yeah.
So, for a moment, whatever is rising, don't go there. Just now, do it, just now. Don't go there. So that's the direction towards your own self, what's real for all and the same.
But sometimes it's really stronger than yourself.
Because of habit, because of you imagine you trusted all that flow, but is the gate to the mind. You trusted that direction all your life. So it looks like it's difficult, but you want to free yourself or not? That has to be stronger. Stronger. I wanted this life. My priority. I want it in 12 years. When I finish this and that. I want it now. You see? That fire has to be there. And then, when you have this fire, you like very much to hear, I am that. How? I don't go there. It's a thought. I am that. Like that. Like that, you free yourself from the past. How are you today? Yes, good. So you don't have the same questions?
No, I mean sometimes some questions arising and then also
Yes.
disappearing.
So you are quieter than before. Mhm. So something is missing?
que la qualité du jeu est différente?
Pardon?
Est-ce que la qualité du jeu est différente
Is the quality of I different? As long you can translate, please. As long as there is differences, it's about I, qualified I. I am gross. And then with the surge, often I becomes lighter with experiences of even vastness or light. Even this I disappears as a person, but still I knows what's going on. So I has different qualities. But in fact, the real I, the self, who I am in reality, which can be called I, has absolutely no quality.
She was speaking about the game of the life, not the I.
I reply like this. Satsang is so precious because it reminds you, if needed, who you really are. So less I spend time in the multiplicity that we know very well and that made us surge, better it is. Yes.
Is practicing the who am I, is that a good practice to do at home? And then you do it regularly? Or
Well, first of all,
it's about time again.
yeah. Well, there is a fire in your house, I think you run quickly to plunge into water, isn't it? So the demand to be freed from anxiety, deep unsatisfaction, a feeling, whatever you do, whatever you experience, it can happen. So, and you even give a name to that search. After all, it's because I don't know myself. I want to know myself, my real self. So that fire will compulsory make you ask the essential. And you know the mind is crowded by knowledge and questions, but they are all objective questions. Let it be from gross world to the most subtle world, still objective questions. They bring experiences, they bring something. So when that is somehow, there is a path in that jungle, and the path is the fire for freedom, for liberation. Then one question suddenly makes sense, that subjective question. Who am I? And then you know, you understand now how precious it is to have the answer. You know that you will not go into answers, any answers of the mind which will be presented then. You don't go there. It's not through the mind that you will realize. So you free yourself from the tyranny of the mind. And where you end up is the answer. It's what you are. Yes.
I often have that question, not who am I, but where am I?
Yeah, where you are is a good question too, means I'm not that. Wherever you are, it's not who you really are. So it's a way to know what you are not.
Si on ne s'est pas réalisé avant la mort du corps dans le monde et qu'on se prend malheureusement par exemple toujours pour quelqu'un à la mort
Oui.
du corps,
où va le mental, puisqu'il n'existe pas, mais où va-t-il si on a la croyance qu'il existe?
Ben, chaque pensée est appelée une incarnation. So each, we could translate. Okay.
Vous allez commencer en français, donc je sais pas.
Yes. So she asked, after death, if we didn't realize before the death of this body, where the mind goes, or what's going on with the mind. This was it. So I replied, a thought can be taken as an incarnation. And that's why it's a way to speak, the one who realized the real nature, and it is in the cycles of incarnations. It has a meaning because it doesn't take any thought, any rising for real. In that way, I would recommend for those who don't know yet Ramana and Papaji to read, you see. It's a satsang in reading that. It removes a lot of concepts, and you can take that one sentence, some pages to contemplate and to create also that fire. It's a good company. Good company. Because it's only wisdom. It throws you always to what's real, to your real nature. It may help. Yes.
What about devotion? When one feels devotion for the divine or a divine figure?
Sure, you cannot help to have devotion when you trust the guidance.
And when it's present, how to deal with it? Ignore it?
No. It's a very good ingredient. It's like the bird with his two wings. Go for self-investigation, and then you are anyway full of gratitude to finally free yourself.
Because one has might have the direction to unify with that feeling or to grasp that feeling to
Yeah, but that
to
devotion is towards something, no?
Yes.
So the devotion towards your real nature, to go back there, to realize it, it has no object, but it has this direction. I'm so happy, I love to free myself, and that will make you say at some moment, now, it's not a devotion which will bind you. It's a blessing in disguise or in guise. I don't The guy is blessed. Yes.
Is the soul we know from Christianity, is that the synonym for the real soul?
No. A soul, it's always in relation with God. But if you if you say that what the real nature is God, the soul is a dog after God.
So what are synonyms for...
It's a thought. To be a soul is a thought. But the thought was stirs to go back to the divine, to what's real. You see? It's the search, the seeker. Seeker is a like name for the soul. Is there still something floating somewhere that you could be freed of? Yeah. Yes?
I like your comparison with the house in fire, but I have feeling I'm burning from everywhere inside of me, and I can't stop the fire, never. It is always there, well, not always the same intensity, but it is always
and it was okay.
It's like a jail. It is always there, and I can't make the silence to let it go. I can't. I just can't.
Yeah, understand that. So that's why one ends up in satsang to hear. Listen, you think you are in a jail. It's an experience you may have. Who has this experience? Who?
Something inside of me.
Yeah, but it has a name. It has a name, it has a form. It's I. I. As this body-mind. You see, it's a dress. It's coated by that concept. And finally you feel in jail with a concept. You want to burn that jail, and you are right. So here there is no way out than to realize who you really are. You are not the jail. You are not even the one in the jail. All that is imagination. Even if you have the experience of it, it is your body who experiences it, or your soul, or your mind. You are not what you can describe or feel or experience. So, you just keep quiet in yourself. And when there is anything rising, no, it's not what I am. It's an appearance. It looks like I'm not it. Can you take it? Wonderful. That's the best direction. Through self-investigation, you see how one binds himself, looks like, with his own description of himself. I'm this, I'm that, I feel this, oh no, I change. It's amazing. So be vigilant, be aware of that. And you are just not a description. You are that which allows descriptions to appear and disappear. So, Yes.
The love for the master and the feeling of bliss is really overwhelming. And
So if you are overwhelmed, are you there?
yes.
So you are not totally overwhelmed. Okay.
Yeah.
In overwhelming, there is no difference between master and disciple.
Yeah.
No place for a question. Now, if you are not totally overwhelmed, that's a problem. You are not what you experience. In order to realize yourself, you have to hear this. And know that the bliss rises and what not. Wonderful, the creation of the self, of what you are. Never confuse yourself for a rising, an experience. Let it be the perfume of the self, like the bliss. The perfume is not the rose. First realize yourself. Or be totally overwhelmed.
Yes.
In both cases, I has to disappear. The I, the known I, has to disappear.
Avoir un esprit libre, c'est ça la réalisation?
Non.
C'est pas ça.
Il y a beaucoup. To have a free spirit, is it realization? On this planet, quite a few free spirits are there. It doesn't mean they realized the real nature of things.
Realization of things.
Yeah, the real nature of the self. Who really, what you are.
C'est pas que ce soit libre, tout libre, complètement libre, c'est pas ça.
J'ai répondu. Realization doesn't happen to somebody. It is when the somebody who wants realization is questioned to make disappear the concept there is anybody. And whatever appears, appears. Looking like the same or not. But very much looking like the same. Thank you very much.